Hey friends, this is Wayne over at the Ram Man Inc. Don't forget the ink. Hey, I'm going to make a short, try to encompassing video about the locking hubs. A lot of people don't care. Some people like to ask why all the time, even though they don't understand, or they think they understand, but they don't understand. And it's why. I remember my old man used to say, yours is but to do or die, and don't ask why. So, let's start off with the really cool things about the design. So, this is a one-piece design. It's fashioned after the Ford Super Duties, millions of them on the road. The cage slips right in there. And so, these hubs are designed just like the paperwork says, that put it together, slide your old one off, and you get to slide your new one on. There's no reason to bolt this on, have the stub shaft come through here, try to work the cage in here and all that. If you want to do it that way, and you want to make it more difficult because you prefer aggravation, then you bolt that up and do your locker second. Some people like aggravation. My old man did. So when we put this together, we needed to keep all of the dimensions, Mopar dimensions. And so we ran into a couple little troubles. Number one, we need to keep the rotor in the same place. See, the Ford bearing is heavier duty. It's thicker, it's bigger, and it's deeper than the factory Dodge. So we needed to make up 150 space here. So instead of being cheap and just putting a disc down here, we decided to use some technology that's been out in racing and IndyCar and extreme high performance for a long time. Mechanical degradation comes from heat. Hubs don't get hot. The hot part of an assembly is the damn rotor. That's what rotors do. They take kinetic energy, motion, and they convert it to heat energy. Great big old heat sinks. So, if you can space that rotor out, cut down the actual contact surface area, these are simple physics properties. You can reduce or really slow down the heat transfer, and it allows air to pass through. So, very little heat from the rotor is transferred to the bearing hub, and that's one of the reasons it makes them last much longer. So that's the reason for the spacers. On the back side, these are deeper. These bearing hubs are deeper. So, why do we have the 250 spacer that goes on the back? I'll tell you why. We need to keep all of our spacing exactly specs. Well, on some of the Mopar steering knuckles, the Dodges and Rams, some engineer, it's the young engineers that usually do too much, do corny things that are ludicrous for job security, and make the parts more difficult, more expensive, and harder to make. Some of the Dodge steering knuckles 2008 up have little ears cast into the corner. Yes, this is the round opening for the hub, and then there's little ears cast in the back. Now, those little ears, don't laugh, keep the hub from falling through, I guess. Because they're absolutely ridiculous and ludicrous. How's the hub going? Well, you just don't push it through the steering knuckle. Absolutely absurd. One of the dumbest things I've found in 10 years. Moving on. As we talk about all the time, you can grease these at will with the grease fitting that we give you. You pull out your ABS wire, you stick this in and you can hold it, and you just use a regular grease gun. The thrust bushings that take up the load from the centrifugal force. When that shaft is stationary, it doesn't do anything. When it starts spinning, it slides out. And this takes that load. Just like a crankshaft and a camshaft, they're allowed to move. You set the clearance because they want to go out also. And that's to absorb some of the energy. Because you've got a floating axle here so that it can move back and forth just a little bit. Designed that way. So the thrust bushings are softer. And then right here we have this great big sealed ball bearing that you see with this big clip. So this is replaceable. The ball bearing's replaceable. Even the cage needle bearing right here is replaceable. Off the shelf items. HK 4512. You can read the number off of there. And the splined thrust bushings, of course, are available from us. So design that way so you never tear up your factory shaft. So there we go, my friends. Now, we used to ship them together. But we're shipping so many now, and like Australia and Canada, some of our locking caps and bezels were getting broken. People are stacking them up. They're in airplanes. They're in ships. You know, they get tossed. We've all seen the videos, you know, that pop up around the holidays. So nowadays, we're going to start shipping them with just the cages installed. And here's the two parts of your locker. You have the cage, and then you have the bezel. And check this out. The cage will just slip down inside of there. So, we're going to ship them this way. So when you receive your hubs, pull your cage out. The bezel snaps into place that easy. Sometimes we shoot a little WD-40. Lose these up a little bit. Watch this bad boy. That fit. It slides down and turn, and it goes to rest. And then we just have our 3 Phillips head screws that secure the locking unit. Now it's ready to install. I'm going to say again, it's much easier to install it in one piece than it is to break it down. I'm telling you. But you go and do what you want to do. That's what we do. God bless you. God bless America. And happy trucking.